Hi, Mr. Janak. Thank you for joining in for my first podcast. I hope you are doing great, and it's a pleasure to have you at my podcast. Let's begin. My first question to you is how did your cricket journey start, and what are your opinions on your journey, and how did you progress further?
First of all, thank you, Kayan, and it's indeed pleasure to join in your podcast. And I wish you all the best for this podcast. And you are doing a very good initiative, and I hope you continue doing good work through this podcast. And
Thank
you,
you.
I hope you encourage young generations. So regarding the sports and about myself, I will cut short to in sports category only. I will not stretch more on myself. I just love playing sports, and I just love playing cricket, be it any sports. I think playing sports is a definition of my fitness,
Okay.
and at this age of 41, I still play cricket, and I
Right.
still play full day of cricket
Oh,
match in 43 degrees in summer. I know it's
great.
challenging, but I just love playing cricket. I just love sports. And
Oh,
talking about
that's
any other
great.
sports, if I know the rules of that sports, if I know how to play that sport, then I will play it. And
Great.
still on Sunday, if there is a match scheduled, then I set an alarm for 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I wake up early and I get myself ready to go. And I still play full day of cricket. And I prepare myself a day before a match day with all my kit, my post workout, my pre workout, and what to wear, what things to take in my kit. So still, I just love playing sports. So I think it's
Great.
a pleasure and it gives you mental satisfaction, and that is the reason why I play sports. And if you and I still, I mean, it's run in my blood. If you see that adrenaline, if you
Correct.
or I do not play cricket, I don't know. There are many crazy fans, but playing cricket is the ultimate satisfaction.
All right. Understood. Understood. So of course, this is a bit about yourself. And so I wanted to understand from a cricketer's point of view, there are a lot of ups and downs in their careers. Also, they face a lot of criticism, a lot of love, during their prime, they get a lot of love. But in India, let's say if they have a bad form for 2 through 3 matches, they are criticized a lot. So how, what is their reaction to all of the criticism and love? And how do they set their mindset to be ready for all of these challenges which they are going to face?
I think that is part of the game. You have to deal with it. This is a crazy, crazy cricket nation. You know that, and
Right.
fans take you at the top of the mountain one day, no matter of
Right.
time. But if you fail, and I think if you fail to win the match for your country in a do
Right.
or die situation, then boom, be ready to deal with all the hits, and you have to handle it. I am sure all our players have a good knowledge of it, how to deal with such things. And
Right.
for example, if you see Hardik Pandya was getting booed almost every stadium, and
Right.
crowd booing while he speaking to commentators during the toss in IPL, but he handled it very well, uh,
Yes.
and that thing did not affect his game. He was
Hmm.
motivated to do well, and I think he did it very really well. He handled this situation very well, and I think this is part of the game, and they know that this stage may come once in a lifetime or may multiple times. So
Correct.
you have to deal with these things.
Right, understood. So as you just mentioned that if in a do or die, if in a do or die situation, a game, if a country or a team loses, then the nation goes crazy. The players of that team face a lot of criticism. So as you must be knowing, November 19, 2023, India lost the World Cup against Australia on the home ground. and then I think approximately 7 months later, we won the T20 World Cup. So, how did those players change their mindset from, that of course we lost a World Cup, but now it's time to win another one and make ourselves and our nation proud. So, how did they change their mindset?
Oh, Indian cricket fans will hardly forget that 2023, 19th November, I think,
Yes,
that defeat against Australia. That was a real heartbreak, tears, disappointment were there because India have not won a World Cup since 2013. I think
yes,
10 years.
exactly.
2013 was that too was the ICC Champions Trophy. That was not the World Cup actually.
Yes,
And World Cup was on 2000, in 2011, and that was in India. Everyone was waiting for the 2023 World Cup because it was in India,
yes,
again in India, and India was clear favorite. And
yes,
we defeated all the teams in that World Cup and reached the final
yes,
comprehensively. Not only we won all the matches, but I think we won all the games comprehensively,
yes,
and
by
we were
great
ruthless.
margin. Yes,
Yes, and the final was at the Modi Stadium. I think more than 1 lakh people were there. Stakes were
yeah,
high, and then you see what was the outcome. The real heartbreak, tears, and disappointment. We lost it. The
yes,
years of hard work, and you lose one match and you lose the World Cup. That was the case, and
yes,
how to digest this. So naturally, you can see tears and disappointment in fans, players, coaches, everywhere.
yes,
And even Rohit kept talking ahead that the World Cup defeat is still haunting him. But
right,
inside somewhere he knew that one more World Cup is coming on the way, and that's not too far away. It's I think 7 months far away, and he knew it. Coach Dravid knew it. Virat, Bumrah, all the other senior players knew that the next World Cup is not that far away, and they can win the World Cup.
yes,
And that World Cup is 220, 2024, 2024 T20 World Cup was just not the World Cup. It was all about overpowering the past failures, defying the odds, and rewrite the history that
exactly.
we what we
Understood.
failed to, what we failed to achieve, and they failed to write. But finally, India lifted the T20 World Cup and proved again that they are the best.
Right,
Fans were in tears, players were in tears, coaches were in tears, all the senior players in tears, all the former players were in tears.
yes,
So this win wasn't just a trophy; it's emotions, and it's for the nation itself. Rohit Kohli signed off in a style from the T20 international.
yes. So, of course, it was a great moment for India when, we won the T20 World Cup. During that phase when we were transferring from, the loss of the 23 ODI World Cup towards the T20 World Cup, Jai Shah, the Secretariat of BCCI, Jai Shah, mentioned in an interview that, uh, quoting it in Hindi, that बारबेडोस में हम भारत का झंडा गाड़ के रहेंगे, to give motivation. So how do you think that that quote, that sentence which Jaisha stated, played a significant role to motivate all of the players in the Indian cricket team?
Yes, absolutely. Because he didn't want fans to be disappointed. He wants fans to cheer more and support Team India more because this was not the end of the World Cup. This was not the end of the journey. Because
Correct.
normally you see that the World Cup takes 4 years of time. ODI World Cup and
Right.
T20 World Cups around every 2 years.
Right.
So
Yes.
I think he did good things. That he already quoted a big statement. He gave the big statement that we will do it and Janda Gaad ke rahenge, and all the fans remember it, and we did it.
Yes, so of course, that I think from a personal point of view that played as a pivotal role, to motivate all of those players and give them extra motivation and the satisfaction and the attitude, a right attitude to go towards the World Cup and aim for it. So that was obviously a great statement made by Jai Shah. Uh, Moving further, a bit on the economic side of cricket. So, there are a lot of cases of corruptions and a lot of corruptions, match fixing, which happens in cricket. So how do you think that changes the aspect of how people view the sport? So a lot of people, like I think Anil Kumble or uh, I don't remember the name, but one player had been criticized behind match fixing for India. So how does that change the aspect of viewing the sport for the players and the fans?
I think the corruption were there because it's more basically political reason behind it, and
Okay,
it's not that massive these days because if you go back 2 3 decades back in Indian cricket, there
correct.
used to be lots of corruption, but still we used to do well. India have achieved so many things in cricket instead of these all the corruptions were there,
Right.
and many names, not just few names, but there are small bugs, and this is a huge cricketing nations, and there are many players who really do well for the country, and they don't get affected by all these things.
Yes.
And it will come and go, but these achievements will not stop, and I don't think the players will get affected of these corruption things.
All right, okay. And a bit of, of how fans view the sport, because, in other countries, corruption is, people are strictly against it. And cricket being a global sport. So how do you think that, corruption in cricket, if we focus on India, that defames, the sport of cricket in India? Of course, the Indian fans will have a lot of love for the game in India, but of the people who live outside India, such as New Zealand, England, and countries like that.
So this is a big nation. If you compare Australia and New Zealand to India, then there's a big difference. They also have corruption there, but not as much as we have in India.
Right.
Uh, but as I said again, we were not affected before in the past, and
Right.
I don't think it will affect this current generation or upcoming generations. So it will stay. And it's a matter of time. It's not a long time story. It's a short time story. And as I said, it's all political, and all the players know that it's all political. And it is there are few bugs around there. They do that for money, but though not all players do for the nation, and they don't go against the nation. And, and
Understood.
nowadays you see that many play for the country only. They don't play for crowd. They don't play for money. All
Yes.
right, they play for fame, but the thing is the country first.
All right, understood. So, politics part, a lot of people think that, India is such a huge population, 1 point, a lot of people are, it's the one of the highest populated countries in the world. So, I wanted to know that, being as cricket is one of the most, followed and famous sport in India, a lot of people try to go ahead in the sport of cricket. However, there are some controversies and criticism that BCCI selects players which they favor, as some of the players which that they don't focus on the talent, but they focus on, if players give them money, they'll select them, such as that. So, what is your opinion on that?
I don't think so. There is a corruption or any politics or any uh, like we say that in like chitti, we say that if you pay money and get selected, I don't think that is happening.
Okay.
If you see that current players, all are performance. You have to go through state level, city level to state level
Yes.
to Ranji level, then Tulip Trophy, Irani Trophy, NCA, everything. You have to perform in every all of these tournaments to go through past to the main Indian teams. And if you pick any player from this current squad, I don't think any of the players are non-deserving one. And you cannot say that this player has uh, he is not selected on the basis of something else. He is lucky or under the table kind of things.
All right.
Pick any player. If you pick, even if you pick Dulip Trophy, the current Irani Trophy scored, they are all
Right.
performers. If you see the Sarthak Rawat from
Yes.
Baroda scored 100 in the final, he got picked. And there are players who who don't get selected, they might feel they get unlucky. But if you perform again, you will get a call.
Right, absolutely. And this was the start of the selection process. Going further, in the main team, not the starting 11, the playing 11, but except that in the main team there are a lot of players. But sometimes due to one or two to three bad games, those players are dropped from the first team, and are either uh, dropped from the first team or face a lot of criticism from the board, the secretary board, the controlling board, and the fans too. So do you think that is the right decision which the board makes, like dropping them based on the form of 2 to 3 games? Is that correct?
No, I don't think they are dropping players on the basis of 2 or 3 games. There are many perspectives behind it. He might have not passed the fitness test, or he might not be fit enough to play the next game. He might
Okay.
have injured. And also, their bench strength is so high that it's a complete challenge for new players. So,
Yes.
if the bench strength is so high, you have to perform it. If you get a chance, then perform it, because the next player is already waiting. He already scored 100 in domestic games and he's already waiting. The other player is
Right.
get selected, and if you don't play, then next is already waiting. So it's a part of the procedure. It's a cycle that if you fail, the next player is already waiting, and then other player will fail, the next player is already waiting. But they do give chance, and they
Okay.
also do the fitness, mental aspect, and everything. So
Uh,
on the basis of 2 3 games, if the players get dropped, then I don't think it's a complete end of that player. He will get another chance, because domestic structure is so huge and so high that you can come
Understood.
back at any stage. You see the Ishan Kishan is coming back again. He
Right.
scored century. He was picked in the World Cup, but now he's in the radar. And if you see Prithvi Shaw, Rahane, all they are scoring centuries in domestic, and they, the end is not there for them.
Understood, understood. So, yes, I think that is it from my side. I just had one last question. So, be looking from an overall view, how do you view, the psychology part in cricket? So, how much do the players need to focus on the mental side of training and the physical side of training in cricket? So, like, is it 60% towards mental and 40% towards physical, or what is it? That's what I want to know.
I think 50-50, it's both mental and physical, both are equally important. At the start of your career, if you are a youngster, then it's all about your mental preparation.
Right.
And you have worked hard from your early ages to time of your being selected. Are
Yes.
you ready mentally? Are you tough to handle all the pressures? Are you ready to handle the pressure of all the expectation? You have come through this stage after working physically so hard, and now it's time. If you are mentally prepared, and are you mentally prepared to face your first ball, or ready to bowl your first ball? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you the best
Understood.
version of your? And this is what happened at the early stage of your career. But at the later stage of your career, you need physical fitness. Once you played so long for your country,
Yes.
you physical fitness. You might be fit mentally, you might cope up with pressure all the way, but are you physically fit? Are you fit version of yourself? So I think it's both. For example, Virat Kohli, how incredible fit he is, and how
Yes.
energetic he is mentally when he's in the
Absolutely.
game.
Yes.
Equally, and if you see Dhoni, MS Dhoni, he is not fit, but he's mentally fit. And at this age, at the age of this 40, 41, you can see that he's not fit, but he's mentally so fit that he can challenge any bowler at this age, and he
Yes.
still runs so. So I think it's both important. Mental toughness and physical fitness, both are important.
All right. I think that's it from my side. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a great experience, and I was able to expand my knowledge on the psychology part in cricket and a basic understanding of cricket economics and a lot more of the sport. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kayan, and all the best for your upcoming podcast. And I would look forward for my podcast also, and for other podcasts also. I will keep an eye on your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.